What's up, guys? Frecky here. So I know it's been a minute or two since I've done a video. Again, I said I'm going to try and do these on my own time. I'm off work right now, but I figure I got to get a video done here soon, so it doesn't make it look like I dropped off the grid for no reason. So with that being said, what I want to talk about now is tattoos and why are they so cheap, right? So a lot of people think that tattoos are very expensive. The initial outlay may seem a lot, but it's really not, because if you think about it, it's not just a tattoo; it's an investment. Okay, it's no different than investing in stocks, muscle cars, whatever it is. The only difference being is that you're going to wear them every day, and they're going to be on you every day, and people are going to ask you about them and stuff like that. But we get a lot of questions, and I'm sure other artists do, and some people come in wanting to know, what's the cheapest tattoo? The best answer for that would be all of them, because if you do a tattoo that's $600, $700, $800, $1,000, $1,500, and you expand that over a lifetime, you're talking fractions of a penny on the dollar. Now, a lot of people don't look at that. They look at the initial cost, the upfront cost. The other thing you got to keep in mind is, usually, depending on the artist, they don't get to keep the entire amount of money, right? They usually have a shop split, right? Whatever the percentage is, or if they rent a booth space. So there's money taken out of that. Then they got to provide their own inks, their own needles, tubes, sanitary supplies. I mean, it just depends on the artist, but basically the main thing is they're not keeping that entire amount. And depending on what their percentage is and what their cost is and stuff like that, if a tattoo costs $500-600, the artist might only be making $200 to $300, which some people will be like, wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, but it depends, because it depends on how much he has to buy, how much costs of his equipment is, what his cut is. Also, you got to keep in mind that artists, depending on what their situation is, they might not be making money or doing tattoos every single day, depending on the status where they're at in the shop and what their specialties are. Now, granted, there are artists out there that make $60,000 a month or higher. But those are like your real high echelon, probably got bookings and you got a wait list and stuff like that. But the average artist, he might only be booked out maybe anywhere from 3 to 8 months, sometimes a year. And if that's the case, his situation's a little bit more stable. But most often than not, most tattoo artists and shops, they're not doing work every single day to the amount to make a huge profit. I know it sounds like a little weird and a little crazy, and some people might think, oh, it's kind of BS or whatever, but that's unfortunately what the truth is. Some people make more money than others, vice versa, stuff like that. But it all just depends on how long they've been doing it, what their skill set is, what their demand is. So there's just a lot of variables into cost of a tattoo. As I said, tattoos are cheap. They're not expensive. So for the people that are coming in expecting, amazing tattoos for $50, it's just not feasible, man. Just, kind of cut that kind of thought process out. The only thing I can figure is that someone at some point kind of cut someone a deal, and it kind of extrapolated, and they kind of took it as like, well, if I could get it done here, that means I can get it done here for the same amount or whatever. On that note, sometimes if you might get a gruff response. If you go up to an artist and you say, hey, I want praying hands with a rosary and some words and some backdrop, and the artist says $250, $300, and you tell him, well, the dude up the road said he'd do it for $150, $200. If it's me, I'm gonna tell you to go up the road. It's pretty insulting, for one, and two, you got to look at it this way: is not everyone prices the same. Not everyone's skill set is the same. So you have to take all these things into consideration, and that's what the artist is doing when he's quoting you. He's quoting you for the time that it's going to take, the effect, black and gray. There's a whole plethora of stuff that he's going through, and that's kind of how they price it. And some are more than others, you know. But anyway, like I said, I just kind of wanted to touch on that subject in the sense of, like, you know, let's try and get out of the mindset of, you know, getting cheap tattoos, because in reality, they're all cheap, right? You know, you get a $1,500 sleeve or a half sleeve or something like that, and you have it for 30, 40 years. You're talking fractions of a penny on the dollar. You know, again, I'm not trying to sway anybody or say anything negative or whatever. These are just my viewpoints, and kind of helping and giving some perspective and a different outlook to individuals, and kind of help them with some thought processes. Anyway, hope this video was helpful. As I said before, I'm going to try and cut a couple more videos tonight. But until next time, all the best to you and everybody in your family. From the Texas Viking, peace.